Everybody. I just want to say a few things that I really feel like God has impressed upon my heart. And some of the things that God has impressed upon my heart is how there truly is a global awakening that is happening. And when I say global awakening, I mean global awakening. I don't know if any of you can sense it, but I can totally sense it. I can sense where the tide has begun to turn, where systems are starting to fall, systems of government, systems of militaries are falling. Whole entire religious structures are beginning to fall. And this is just a sign. This is just a taste. This is just a smallness of a global awakening that's beginning to happen, where people are starting to completely realize and completely understand that systems and the old way of doing things is no longer working. And if you know anything about God, God is a big God. God is quite extravagant. God is very much outside the box. And so what I like and what I see happening is there's a rise of justice causes where people are starting to want to bring the earth back into an area where people are investing time into, whether it be the LGBTQ, whether it be women, whatever it is, there is a call and a rise. And I guess you could call it almost like a clarion call to the globe as a whole to stop walking and implementing and working and doing things from a divisive way of doing things, but by doing things with unity. And God is all about unity. God is all about awakening this earth and awakening this world to a place of unity and love. And the only way that that is going to happen is if there is an explosion on the scene where the minorities have truly been shut down and their voice is beginning to be heard. So for example, you're probably seeing a lot of women that are starting to become presidents. Women are starting to become mayor. Women are starting to filter into places and spaces of politics. And you may not like their message, and you may not like how they're necessarily doing it right now, but that's just because there's a global awakening amongst the women to rise and take their place. Patriarchal structures are beginning to fall, and women are beginning to rise up and say, we have a voice, we have a soul, we have a spirit, we have something that we can offer to this world that will help bridge the gaps of division and help bridge the gaps where there is disunity. So even if you find yourself saying, well, I actually can't really go with what this woman is saying, or I disagree with, let's say Greta, who's doing a big push for, the environment, just know that what's happening is women leaders are starting to be birthed forth, and they are beginning to find their legs and beginning to find their feet. So as they begin to push through these structures, as they begin to push through various ways of government, as they begin to push through different things that have been long-standing in belief systems, it's not always going to come out right. It's not always going to come out well, because they're pushing through old mindsets. They're pushing through old religious and governmental and different ways of doing things in the mindset. So I just want to encourage you just to be aware, to know that there truly is a wind and if you can hear the wind above me, there is a wind that is blowing. And it is God calling this globe back to not only himself, but he's calling this globe back to a place where it's he's wanting to see unity. He's wanting to see love really go forth. God is a God of love. God is a God of unconditional love. And where there's exclusion, that's not God. Where there's inclusion, that's God. Where women and men are seen as equal, that's God. Where systems allow for the minorities to have a voice, that's God. And that's what's happening, just a snippet a little bit of what's happening in this new age that we've kind of moved into. A lot of people are saying we've kind of left the age of Pisces, and I don't know how many of you are really into the zodiac, but Pisces represents polarities. It represents yin and yang. It represents good and evil. And that we are leaving these black and white ways of thinking, and we're moving into what is called the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius represents unity, represents bridge building, represents cooperation. and represents freedom. And so that is exactly what you are seeing in the globe. That's exactly what you're seeing in different things when there's justice causes that are rising, or people are thinking about the oneness between humanity and the environment. So there are these things that truly are showing themselves. The signs of the times are definitely present. And so I just want to encourage all women everywhere. This is a time for you to take your seat, to take your position, to take your voice, and to use it. This is not a time to hunker back down, kind of fall bondage again to old systems. If you feel a cause on your heart, or you feel like you have something to say, now is the time to say it, because this is the time where women are truly coming back and taking their voice and are actually beginning to mother the earth. If you want the truth, like they're beginning to be the midwives that are starting to usher in the new awakening that is coming to our globe. So that's just a little snippet on where I think our earth is at this present time. All right, everybody, signing out. Take care.